And I pretty much want to talk about really document my 4 year semen retention journey and basically talk about it, and kind of, give y'all the state, give y'all like an update of where I'm at right now on this journey. Because I feel like, well, not feel like, I know for a fact that, this year, 2023, I've been struggling with retaining my seed and building up my life to where I can get to where the Most High needs me to be. And where the Most High wants me to be, my life force is the only thing that can get me there. And I feel like this year I've been falling short. And when it comes to my SR journey for the past 4 years, I would say that 2023 has been my worst year in terms of building up this life force. I've been dealing with a lot of lust, and the lust demons, man, they've been attacking. They've been on the attack, and I've been really battling these parasites. And I've been struggling to really put them away and cast them out of my vessel, of my flesh. And it's something I've been having a very difficult time with. Now, when it comes to pornography, back in 2021, I initially quit for 90 days. I quit for 90 days initially, and then I wound up backsliding to where now I'm starting to watch the corn again. I'm starting to get on the sites again. It's like that lust demon or like a voice was just speaking to me. Oh, go back on the website again. Go watch this video. Go watch that video. Click on the site. You know what I'm saying? And it was like the devil was talking, was speaking in my head. And one thing I learned about my addiction is that it's like a parasite. It's like you really have to do some inner work, spiritual work. I'm talking about deep spiritual work to cast out these demons out of your flesh. Because once you abstain and you get rid of the addiction, because when you are having a corn addiction, you are entertaining a very demonic spirit. And once you quit that addiction and you wind up going back to it, what tends to happen in the spiritual realm is that those few spirits leave. There's no room in your soul for them to take over, right? They see that there's no room for them. But after a while, when you make no way for anything else to come into your life that is productive, right? When you make no room, like once you initially got corn out of your life, your job, your responsibility is to now replace that with something more productive. Replace that with a hobby, maybe meeting different people, replacing that with a new career, working on your craft or working on a project. It could be anything. that can replace the corn. But once those spirits realize, wait, he still has room left in his soul, spirits, inside. Well, really, I should call it. Um, I want to call it like a spiritual house, like your spiritual house. There's still room left there, and those demonic spirits, they know that there's room. So now what they're going to do is they're going to recruit 7 different spirits, 7 more spirits to infiltrate into your spiritual house. And that addiction, that lust that you previously had through porn addiction, it's only going to get stronger. And it's going to be harder for you to overcome the addiction. Now, when it comes to me personally, when I first got a laptop years ago, that's where I was primarily watching the corn on my laptop almost every day. I wasn't looking at it at my phone as much, right? But the past 6, 7 months, I don't know how this happened. I don't know what had happened or what I did differently, but out of nowhere, it's like I just stopped searching for corn sites. I just stopped watching corn on my laptop for 6, 7 months straight. And it's not something that I had to think about. It just, all of a sudden, I just stopped watching on my laptop. Now, I still had this problem on my phone, in the midst of quitting watching on my laptop, right? Now, when it comes to my phone, I have stopped watching a month and a half ago, and I'm still gaining momentum of, permanently putting this lustful demon away for good, casting it out of my body for good. And I understand that it takes work, because when you've been consuming something for so long, you've been addicted to something for so long. The same thing with alcohol and weed. Once you get hooked onto something, it's hard for you to quit. It's hard for you to let go of that vice. The same thing that you go through when it comes to corn addiction, others are going through the same thing with alcohol and weed and drugs. Because once, like any drug addict will tell you, once they're hooked onto that cocaine, onto that meth, or like a specific prescription, a drug that their doctor is giving them, it's hard for them to get off on that. It's hard for them to let go of that drug, because it's so addictive. It gives them that high, right? And it just gives them like that escape, and that's their only escape from reality. It's hard for them to let go. The same thing is with corn addiction. For a lot of people, and for people like me as well, it was an escape for me for a long time, and that's what caused a lot of relapses. But man, those 7 spirits, though, they came back into my spiritual house, or should I say that the 2 spirits, they initially left, and they came back with 7 more spirits, because they realized that there was room in my spiritual house. I have not filled up. I have not fully filled up that spiritual house with anything that was meaningful, anything productive. right? And that was my own fault. On this journey, when it comes to my SR journey, I'm holding myself accountable. You know, I've had a lot of times that I relapsed this year, especially last month. You know what I'm saying? The only months that I was not ejaculating, that I was not relapsing was, I would say, February and June. But every other month, I found myself just letting the temptation take over, man. And this is what happens when you try and quit your addiction to something. There's always that demonic entity that's trying to pull you back in, that doesn't want you to break the bondage of the addiction. And this has been the biggest fight of my life. Like, straight up. I would say that when it comes to my lust, when it comes to fighting lust, this year has been the biggest fight, the biggest struggle of casting it out, right? The previous years, the battle with lust was not all that severe. It was not all that difficult, right? Because in those years, for the most part, I was retaining for months and months on end. My loss streak was 10 months. And let me tell you something, in those 10 months, that was like me creating my own foundation. When I first got on this SR journey of October 2019, and I decided to really go cold turkey, I decided to be committed. And at that point, I was very driven, and I was sick and tired of being sick and tired of the old me. And I wanted to shed the old me. I wanted to put that old me to rest, because I had watched one of my oldest videos on my other channel where I was given updates on my SR journey initially, like a month update. And I just remember looking at myself and I said, wow, I was becoming a new man, essentially. Like, I was seeing myself literally transform from the old me to a new me. And back then, I saw how driven and I saw how ambitious I was to lead a better life, to change my circumstances. I just saw that hunger, man. And this year, I feel like along the way, I have lost that hunger. I lost that drive that I once had. I'm 27 now. Back then, I was 23, going on to 24. I said to myself, I want to be 23 again. Like, I want that drive back, y'all. Like, I really do. And I'm going to work 10 times, 5 times, 10 times as harder to regain that drive. Really build up some serious momentum, you know, that I could have built this year. I could have been better off this year. And I only have myself to blame at the end of the day for falling short. But I'm always going to get back up, you know. I'm right now, I'm on day one. This is my day one again. You know, I had my relapse a couple of nights ago. So now I'm back at day one. A clean slate. Ready to get back into that energy of me being driven and me being ambitious, that same spark that I had, you know, those 4 years ago. And I'm telling you right now, when it comes to battling lust, I'm going to finally beat this. I'm going to finally cast it out for good. The Most High is pushing me to work harder spiritually to cast this out. It's just a reminder that I got to step up my prayer life. And there are days, man, that I do lack, that I do fall short. There are days where I'm not praying as much as I should, you know. But everything outside of the SR journey, or should I say, like, my declining SR journey, because lately it has been declining. I'm not going to lie. My SR journey as of late has been declining. It's on the decline. I'm working now to get myself back to a level where I need to be. And as I said earlier in this video, that I need my life force to get me to where God needs me to be. And right now, I'm not there yet. But eventually, I will get there. I will get there as time progresses. I got to be patient and allow things to really fall in place. But everything outside of the SR journey, when it comes to my health, my nutrition, it definitely has improved. I still been hitting the gym. I still been working out, you know, staying consistent with working out. I've been eating much better lately. Ever since I want to say Thanksgiving, because I didn't really have much food on that day. I was actually full by the time I got to the second plate. Like halfway through the second plate, I got really full, and I'm like, man, I cannot eat anymore. And once you kind of get that signal from your brain that you're full, that's it. You're done. Like you don't got to eat nothing anymore. Like you're good. Like your body's like, I had enough food. Like don't put nothing inside of my body going forward because we good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that I'm giving those signals. Like anytime I eat, you know, it's like I'll get full. And I want to get full pretty quickly because overeating is the last thing that you want to do, right? You never want to overeat. You never want to overindulge on food. And most importantly, you want to stay away from fast food. And that's something that I've been doing for the past week. Staying away from that fast food garbage, man. Like straight up. That's one of the biggest things, the biggest challenges that I've had to deal with this year as well. But gluttony is something that also has been plaguing my life as well. And that's something that with prayer, um, and man, what's that word I'm looking for? Repentance. Repentance from the sin of gluttony. And I called on the Lord to basically free me from this bondage of overindulgence and overeating and gluttony. Because let me tell you something, man, we're going to 2024, and these bondages, man, they got to be broken. They have to be broken. These sins, these vices, man, they can no longer get in the way of progress. They just can't. I'm not going to allow these vices and these sins, man, to get in the way of progress. So I'm just hell bent, bro, on eating cleaner, in which I have been. You know what I'm saying? I eat more baked chicken, you know, steak, red meat. I don't eat pork. I haven't touched pork in years. I'm talking about years. Like I will never eat pork a day in my life ever again. I can't stand pork. I don't eat a lot of hot dogs and hamburgers. Like, nah. I know how to control myself when it comes to eating meat. I'm more of a salmon type of guy. I love salmon. Um, I eat a lot of fish in terms of salmon, fish, tuna fish, like mackerel, all that stuff. Of course, the vegetables, you know, the fruits, just consuming a lot of nutrient based foods, that my body needs, right? I drink water every day. Um, I don't drink no soda. I don't drink a lot of juice. Um, if I do drink juice, it will be very moderate. I'm very balanced when it comes to, I don't want to say balanced, but I'm very disciplined. I'm very disciplined when it comes to drinking juice. Like I don't need to drink it all the time. I drink very little of juice. I just drink a whole lot of water though. I can drink about 7 to 8 bottles of water, you know, cups of water, you know what I'm saying? 1 or 2 gallons of water. Like I'm just a water freak. What can I say? But man, you need to drink water. I mean, that's the most important component for your health, man, is that water. If you're not drinking water, man, like I don't know what the hell you're doing, man. Seriously, like drinking all that soda, drinking all that pop, man, drinking uh all that juice, that Sunny D, Capri Sun, like man, that shit gotta go, man. Straight up. I can never drink that stuff ever again, bro. I'll drink tea here and there, you know what I'm saying? But it's mostly water, man. I can't go a day without drinking water. If I don't drink water, man, I feel like I'm gonna die. Like straight up. Like if I don't drink my water, I feel like I'm going to die. Like I'm just gonna lose all oxygen. I'm just gonna like pass out and faint. Like, man, I gotta have that water. But yeah, man, I would say my nutrition this year alone has really improved. Because there was a period where I gave up on sugar for like over 20 days, close to a month. I gave up on sugar. And that was very hard for me, for someone, man, that always used to consume sugar. But like I realized going close to a month without sugar made me realize that I don't need sugar. Like, okay, I can go without eating sugar for a set period of time, which was good for me. The same thing with meat. I went an entire month without eating any meat. I went days without any food, fasting the entire day, you know? So I can say from a nutrition standpoint, a health and wellness standpoint, I definitely made improvements, you know? But the main thing, man, is overcoming that lust demon, that parasite that's still embedded in you, right? That's keeping you that's keeping you, in the addiction of corn. And that's what I have to break once and for all, you know. Now when it comes to watching corn, when I relapsed a couple nights ago, I was not relapsing to porn. I want to make that clear. I was not relapsing to any corn. At the end of the day, it was simply images of women, you know what I'm saying? So when it comes to the corn addiction for me, it's starting to slowly but surely work itself out of my life for good. And I definitely made progress with that, with further abstaining, right? But I want to get to a point where it's no longer something that I view anymore, that I no longer think about. You know, want to get to a point where you no longer think about corn anymore. And it's just a distant memory. It no longer is something that lingers in your mind anymore. And that's the point that I want to get to, that everybody else should be wanting to get to if you are facing this addiction, you know. But I want to end it off here. You know, if you made it through this entire video, shout out to you. Thank you all for watching and tuning in. I just want to share this update and also, you know, document my SR journey for the last 4 years. Just kind of let you know where I'm at and, you know, where I'm kind of headed right now. Like, I just want to get back to that level, you know. But for the most part, man, I've been on the decline, man. You know, especially for the past couple months. Been very difficult, you know. And it's not something that I'm just easily giving into. Like, I've been actively battling my addiction still, you know, battling the lust demons. And when it comes to lust, man, one thing about it is it's always in your head. Like, psychologically, it's always in your head. And sometimes you don't even need to watch porn to relapse, to ejaculate. Sometimes it's just you thinking about what you watched previously on those porn websites, right? Those, you know, that video and what you watch, those images are still embedded into your subconscious. And it's hard to really unsee those things, you know? So it gets to a point, man, where the lust desire or something, the desire is so strong and you're sexually frustrated and you get to a point where you can't really contain that demonic entity that's, you know, having you ejaculate, that's leading you into a relapse, you know. And sometimes you don't need to watch porn to just get off. Sometimes, you know, that corn, it plays over and over in your mind, in your head, you know what I'm saying? Or you just looking at an image and you lusting over an image, over a pixel, you know. And that's what's been happening a lot to me lately, you know. Like, I was able to relapse without watching porn. Now, don't get me wrong, that's good for me that I'm not needing to watch porn to get off, but getting off, period, without a woman, you know, that just can't happen. You know what I'm saying? That just cannot happen. Only a woman is supposed to, you know, give you that happy ending, right? You're not supposed to give that happy ending to yourself, you know. And a lot of guys do this, you know, I'm included. You know, we've all given ourselves that happy ending, but really it's a woman's job to do that for us. So, yeah, man. But once again, I want to thank you all for watching. I know this has been a long one, but I had to get this off my chest. It's been a minute since I posted on this channel, and we're going back strong, man. We're going back strong. You know, every time you get knocked down, you got to get back up.